Have you ever wondered why we call some people rebels? Albert Einstein was a rebel in the world of science. He did not follow the usual rules. His ideas were new and very different. This story is about why he thought differently. It shows how his unique mind changed our world forever. Let's explore the real reason Albert Einstein became a famous scientific rebel. Young Albert was not a typical student. He grew up in Germany. At school, he felt bored. The teachers wanted students to remember facts. They did not want students to ask many questions. Albert loved to ask questions. He always asked why. He wanted to understand the world his own way. When he was 5 years old, his father showed him a simple magnetic compass. He was amazed. What invisible force made the needle always point north? This question stayed with him. It sparked a lifelong fascination with unseen forces. His teachers saw his constant questioning as a problem. They thought he was a slow learner. They believed he would not be successful. This was because he did not learn like other children. He liked to think about big ideas. He imagined riding on a beam of light. What would the world look like? This kind of thinking was not part of his school lessons. His curiosity was bigger than his classroom. He spent a lot of time reading science books on his own. He learned about physics and math because he loved them. He was not trying to get good grades. He was trying to understand the universe. This passion for understanding, not just memorizing, was his first act of rebellion. It set him on a path that no one else was on. He trusted his own mind more than the old rules of his school. As Albert got older, his rebellious spirit grew stronger. He went to a good university in Switzerland. Even there, he did not always go to his classes. He thought some professors were teaching old ideas. He believed there were new ways to see the world. Instead of sitting in lectures, he studied the work of great scientists on his own. He read their papers and thought deeply about their ideas. His mind was always working, always questioning. After he graduated, he could not find a teaching job. Many professors knew he was a difficult student. They did not want to hire him. So he took a simple job at a patent office in Bern. A patent office reviews new inventions. This job seemed boring for a brilliant mind. But for Einstein, it was perfect. He reviewed inventions for things like synchronizing clocks across a city. These practical problems made him think deeply about the nature of time itself. The work was not very hard. It gave him a lot of time to think. During his breaks and after work, he thought about space, time, and light. He did not have bosses or teachers telling him what to think. He was free. This freedom was very important. In 1905, his miracle year, he wrote 4 amazing papers. These papers would change science forever. He did this while working a simple job away from big universities. One of his revolutionary ideas was about the nature of light. For a long time, scientists argued about light. Some said light was a wave, like a ripple in a pond. Others said light was a particle, like a tiny ball. Both ideas had good evidence, but they seemed to contradict each other. How could light be 2 different things at once? Einstein proposed a brave new idea to solve a specific puzzle called the photoelectric effect. This effect is what makes solar panels work. Scientists had noticed that when you shine light on metal, it can knock electrons out. But it only worked with certain colors of light, no matter how bright the light was. This did not make sense if light was just a wave. Einstein said we should think of light as being made of little energy packets. He called these packets quanta. Today, we call them photons. This idea explained the puzzle perfectly. He said light is both a wave and a particle at the same time. This was a very strange concept. It was hard for many scientists to accept. It went against common sense. But Einstein looked at the evidence. He saw that this dual nature was the only explanation that fit all the facts. This idea helped create a new field of science called quantum mechanics. He was not afraid to challenge everyone's view of the world. Einstein's biggest rebellion was against the ideas of Isaac Newton. For over 200 years, Newton's laws were the foundation of physics. Newton said that gravity was a force. It was a pull that objects have on each other. This idea seemed to explain everything perfectly. It explained why an apple falls from a tree and why planets orbit the sun. Nobody thought to question Newton, but Einstein did. He felt that the idea of a force acting instantly across empty space was strange. He had a different picture in his mind. He spent 10 years working on a new theory of gravity. His idea was called general relativity. In this theory, gravity is not a force at all. Instead, Einstein said that large objects, like the sun, bend and curve the fabric of the universe itself. He called this fabric space-time. Think of space-time as a giant sheet of rubber. If you place a heavy ball in the middle, the sheet will bend. A smaller ball rolling nearby will follow that curve. That is how planets move around the sun. They are simply following the curve in space-time created by the sun. This was a completely new way of thinking about the universe. It was a direct challenge to the great Isaac Newton. He was proposing a whole new reality. Publishing the theory of general relativity was a huge risk. It was complex and very different from what other scientists believed. Many were skeptical. They wanted proof. Einstein's theory made a bold prediction. It said that light from a distant star should bend as it passes by the sun. This was something Newton's theory did not predict in the same way. The only way to test this was during a total solar eclipse. An eclipse is when the moon blocks the sun's light. This makes it possible to see the stars near the sun. In 1919, a British scientist named Arthur Eddington led an expedition to do just that. They traveled to Africa and South America to observe an eclipse. They took photographs of the stars near the sun. What they found was amazing. The starlight had bent, just as Einstein had predicted. The news spread around the world. Newspapers announced that the universe was not as we thought. Albert Einstein became famous overnight. His rebellion against Newton was successful. He had shown that even the most established scientific ideas could be wrong. He proved that we must always be ready to see the world in new ways. His courage to question everything, even the giants of science, is why he remains a hero. After his theory was proven, Einstein became the most famous scientist in the world. But he was not comfortable with his fame. He was a private person who just wanted to think and understand. He did not like the crowds and the attention. However, he realized he could use his fame for good. He began to speak out on issues he cared about. His rebellion moved from science to society. He was a strong voice for peace. After seeing the horrors of World War I, he hated war and nationalism. He believed people should think of themselves as citizens of the world, not just of one country. He felt that nationalism was a poison that led to conflict. This was a very unpopular opinion at the time. Many people were very patriotic. But Einstein was not afraid to say what he believed. He also spoke out against racism and for civil rights. When he moved to America, he was shocked by how Black people were treated. He called racism a disease of white people.
He joined groups working for equality and became friends with civil rights leaders like W.E.B. Du Bois. He used his status to help others. This showed that his rebellious spirit was not just about physics. It was about justice and a better world for everyone. Einstein's story teaches us a valuable lesson. Being a rebel is not just about breaking rules. It is about thinking for yourself. It is about being curious and asking difficult questions. He showed that true understanding comes from imagination, not just from memory. His work continues to inspire scientists and dreamers today. He reminds us that the next big discovery might come from someone who dares to see the world differently. What questions do you have about the world? Perhaps your own curiosity can lead to something wonderful. Don't be afraid to challenge what you are told. Think deeply and follow your own path. That is the true spirit of a rebel like Albert Einstein.